the technicalities around that.
Yeah, so IPO in full, it's called initial public offer.
Okay.
Where a company, if it is to be listed in the stock exchange, because we have different stock exchanges. Every country has its own different stock exchange. Take an example. Am I moving so fast?
No. We are really on the same line now.
Take an example of the US. It has what we call the New York Stock Exchange. Here in Uganda, we have ours. It's called the Ugandan Stock Exchange. Kenya has its own, London. Every country has its own stock exchange. But majorly we look at the US Stock Exchange because it covers almost everything that someone needs to learn about. So if you have to learn about stock exchange, we usually focus on the US Stock Exchange. So when we talk of IPO in full means an initial public offer. In that, let me say I have a company, it's called Chisache Enterprise. At first,
an example.
An example, yes. So at first, I'll be the one owning like the percentage of the shares. In that, I'll also be bringing in some few private investors. That's from friends, family. Then if I want to like level up, go to get more equity for the company because of my vision, that's when I go public. And one of the rules, in order for you to go public, I have to like register with the use, and the rule is to give an offer. This is why MTN gave an offer of 100,000, and you get, is it 100 shares? For
Yes,
100,000.
when you join in their stock share.
Yes. So that is the IPO.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what guarantees the trust of these stocks to the user, like you were saying earlier? But how do I trust as an individual who wants, for example, let's use MTN. At least MTN is a sponsor to some of the programs here on Smart 24 TV. Now, as the MTN stock shares are being in public there, what comes in mind of the person in this regard is a public? Where do I gain that trust and like, okay, I'm going to heat it up, yes, let me go into the stock market?
Yeah, so in the financial market, we have what we call history repeats itself. Okay. So in that, we first look at its historical background. How has it been moving the past 5 years, the past 10 years? Has it been around for quite some time? So if a company has just come up, let me say it has been there for 3 years, and it wants to come on board, it may be difficult for someone to buy the shares. And the shares increase in price when a lot of people try to get on board.
Okay.
That is after the IPO session, because that's the one that brings in the customers. So for the client, I'm going to use the US, for example, like Amazon. Amazon was started in 1994, but it got onto the stock exchange just of recent, I think to 2016, 2017 there. Same applies to Tesla. It was a company that started way back, but it got onto the stock exchange in 2018, 2019. So before getting onto the stock exchange, you have to build that trust within the people that you have, that when you get there, you're not going to disappoint them in terms of, let me say, returns. Yeah.
Okay, and what is the importance of these stocks anyway? Is it important to any business, family relations?
Yeah, it's actually very good. If you have to look at the stocks, now for me, for my case, even if you're a complete beginner in the stock market, it helps you get a sense of business, how business flows. You can, let me give an example of Jeff Bezos. For him, his story started as a McDonald's waiter. Then later on, he went into the stock business. So when going into the stock business, his view of the financial markets, I think, broadened. And then we saw the production of Amazon, which led to more. Now he has space, he has Origin, something like that.
And more people have come on board and use Amazon.
So basically, for me, it gives you a sense of the landscape financial landscape, because now there you learn about investment. One of the best investments, like we talked about last time, when you talk about financial instruments, there's the foreign exchange, then there's the stock, there's the crypto. Then for the stock is one of those places where you can diversify your income. You know, we are living in uncertain times now, like Corona. If you had your Amazon, let me say, stocks, right now the most happiest people are the people who have like stocks in Amazon, Tesla, because
let us use an example of Smart 24.
Yeah.
Okay, if we open to public to buy stocks, let us now use the example of Smart 24 as a company.
Yes.
If we are relating, so you were saying when you join in, what happens next?
So for let's say we have joined,
Okay.
Smart 24 has joined,
Okay.
and it has released its public offer. So it gives you more power, because they say money is power. So it gives you more power to do the things that you would have done in a short time. For me, I can give it as an example of, let me say I've started, but the vision of Smart 24 is to go abroad, like be as big as CNN, like those leading television stations.
Yes, please.
So once people come on board and they see the vision, they've bought into your vision, they've seen your track record, it will be even easier for you as the clients, as the employees, to put in more energy, because now there, you know, you're going to be more serious upon what you do, and you're going to be involved with the government.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just like Simba Wakatia, hold it right there. When you're saying people join in, do they join in as investors?
Yeah.
Bringing in money with what reap afterwards?
So the participants in the stock exchange, there are banks, there are mutual funds, hedge funds, and also individuals. We call them retail investors. So as an individual, I can invest into Smart 24 because I believe in its vision, and we come in terms with the
management,
with the
or
management,
the proprietors.
Yeah. And they say by the end of this time period, you're going to get a profit of this much. If you look at the MTN as it was running, yeah, it clearly stated that it was going to give a certain percentage to its clients after a given period.
Yes.
So if you agree with those terms and you like the percentages, you like the terms, you can buy into the stocks. Yeah.
Okay, and then if you could share with us, because we have some people watching us now and they have got their companies,
Yes.
who are referring at Smart 24, but there are people who have got their companies. To what criteria or to what timing do I say that, okay, I'm ready to go public and give the public offer?
Yeah. Going public has advantages and disadvantages.
Okay, please.
In that, going public, you're going to be monitored by the financial institutions that regulate the financial space, because we have heard of cases of Microsoft being sued because of market manipulation. There are some laws on that. Yeah, so that's one of the disadvantages. And also another disadvantage is when the vision that you wanted does not actually go through.
And you fail or go bankrupt?
Yeah, you go bankrupt. So, and you know, once these investors, some of them who are really skilled have had, like, let me say 20 years of experience. Once they see that change, they usually jump out earlier. They sell off their shares so that they can secure their money. That's one of the disadvantages, because now you're having people, short-term people. No, not these people you started with. These people are just there to make another source of income for themselves. The advantage is that it exposes you to the world. It gives you that world basis. Because, allow me to use the US.
It's okay, please.
In the US, take an example of the US Stock Exchange. We have Amazon, we have Facebook. Once it goes on the New York Stock Exchange, it is listed among all the